Hi, guys. Thank you for tuning into the Womanhood University. I'm Nambi, your host. We're going to talk about porn. How porn has ruined the women and the men of our generation today, including myself. Let me start by saying porn is not a terrible thing, but it can get out of hand very fast. So that's why it's just best to stay away from it. For example, you could be just using porn, just to masturbate or just to get off for a few seconds of the day, but once you start that, it's going to become a cycle to where you need that to finish. A lot of people today cannot use their imagination. They cannot just masturbate off of just feeling so hot. Like they have to have that picture in their faces in order to orgasm. And that's terrible. And let me tell you why. I'm going to put the microphone down because I don't want it to sound crazy when I'm moving. The reason why that's not a good thing is because the human sexuality will thrive off of imagination. That is what makes sex so amazing, is the imagination of it, the foreplay of it, the waiting for it. But now that it's so accessible to everyone, everyone is kind of seeing each other as objects, or we can't just sit down and enjoy a conversation or a paint or a date without someone thinking about the next steps, without someone thinking about, oh, what this person looks like down there, and how does their pussy looks, and how does their dick looks. It's just like an automatic thing that just leads to sex every time. You're always thinking about sex. Women, especially us, because this channel is for us, women, I feel like it's best for us not to use porn to masturbate. And I will go as far as saying toys either. Now, don't get me wrong. We all use toys, okay? But what I've learned in my experience using toys and using porn, it becomes a thing where you're rushing to get to the end. You already know the end goal is it's no taking 30 and 40 minutes. That vibrator is going to get you there in 2 minutes, 10 minutes, and it is taken away from the beauty of sex. And then when you get with a man, you're kind of like, oh, okay, like, your expectations is kind of high, and you may not feel that same explosion as you felt with your vibrator. And it can sometimes become boring because now, you've gotten used to the climax from the vibrator instead of a climax from the human being. And obviously that's disruptive. That is not a good thing. And then also with women, you kind of start comparing yourself. Now, I've never done that, but I know a lot of women have. Like, you compare yourself to the cream that this porn star has. You compare yourself to the squirting that this porn star has done, and the positions and the angles. You kind of start comparing. And once you start comparing, now you're insecure in bed. Now you just, you think you're supposed to perform like a porn star. No. Porn stars get paid to perform. I think that's why I enjoy porn less and less, because I don't like the performance. I kind of like real sacred sexual energy and like people in love. And you can tell that the porn stars are acting. So it's like, Now, when it comes to our men, a lot of us are like, oh my gosh, men don't chase women anymore. It's too easy to, why would they put in the work when they can just go type in a website and get that nut that they've been fiending for? Why would they put in 3 months worth of work when they can just go online in one day and get what they want? It has become too accessible. Women have become too accessible for men, and that's why they're not chasing anymore. You see ass all on the internet. You see women twerking. You see so many different things on the internet as a man, and it's become less and less like a challenge. Like, they can just go online and find whatever it is. Why would we chase you? And don't get me wrong, men today still chase. They do. But that's why you see it less and less. It's like it's not that much of a goal for them, because it's so accessible. Also, now you're having a lot more cases of men being animalistic. And now, don't get me wrong, it is their nature to be animalistic. Like I stated in my last video, testosterone has a lot to do with that. But now you're seeing more of like men masturbating in public and just doing these nasty, nasty things, because now with porn, their mind is totally tainted. I mean, every little piece of ass they see is like, it's a reminder of a porn star. It's a reminder of, I will never forget. I was on a date with a guy, a Haitian guy. I was just, I was like 20. I was just experimenting. He told me, he said, you look like, it was a porn star name. I forgot her name, but he was like, you look like her. And I was just like, and you can tell the whole night he was just fantasizing about that porn star and like putting me, like trying to make that scene happen in real life with himself. Like, it was just so disgusting. We ended up finishing out the date and I ended up blocking him, and he showed up at my house, y'all. He showed up at my house. But anyway, I cut him off. I was just, I couldn't. Let's not even talk about erectile dysfunction being related to watching porn. Men today are so tainted by porn that a regular woman sometimes cannot get them up because it's too boring for them now. You're on porn watching a big old booty with some baby oil and a man just smashing himself into her and all these things, and now you get with a regular woman and now you're like, okay, this is boring, and they can't get up. I mean, they have so much erectile dysfunction cases now more than ever. And it's also harder for men to be with women, like actual relationships with women, because like I said earlier, what good is it? Like, I can go online and find this. Why would I waste my time spending money on you? I can go online and just find it, So it's just creating a society where people are so hypersexual. Like, everything is about sex. Everything is wrapped around sex. And it is going to be difficult in the next upcoming years because not only is this fairly new, I think porn was introduced in the 90s. So we're one of the first generations to actually grow up on porn. Before then, they had the tapes and they had Playboy. But even then, it was still fairly new, like 90s, 80s, late 80s, things like that. So we're one of the first generations to ever grow up on porn. I remember being so young, and I went over a family member's house, and mind you, at my house, I wasn't exposed to this stuff. Like, my mom, my parents, I wasn't exposed to these type of things. I went over her house and she opened her laptop. She was like, you want to see something? And I'm like, sure, yeah. Like, we were only 8 years old. And she pulled up a website where it's like a webcam where you see different people and they're just like, jacking off and, on camera and stuff. And I'm just like, this was my first time ever seeing anything like this. And I'm just like, wow, what the hell? Like, in shock. So I can imagine in 8 years old being totally new to these things. I can imagine people that are younger now that has access to iPads and computers, and they're going to see these things. And then after seeing that, I became more and more interested. I would say I found out about the website Pornhub from my same female cousin. So then I started to watch Pornhub around 14. And I was just so intrigued. I was so interested. I'm like, what is this stuff? Like, oh my God, this seems so cool. Like, there's a tainted mind right there. And imagination is so good. I need y'all to understand. Keeping your imagination is so, so awesome. It's so, so beautiful. I had a client, she was telling me like, oh my gosh, like, I just wish I can go back to being a virgin and not ever experiencing anything, because like, when I got my first hickey, it felt so good and it felt so new, and I used to get tingles down my spine. Now when people suck on my neck, I'm just like, okay, what's next? And I was like, yeah, girl, yeah. That happens when you lose that imagination, when you everything becomes just so normalized. Women's sexual energy is so, so powerful. And when you save it, you get so much creative energy. Let me tell you, the businesses that I've started, the book that I wrote, everything that I did that was successful, I literally refrained from sex in the creative process of those businesses, of those books. because I knew how to harness that sexual energy for creative energy. And it created some of the most beautiful things for me. My business, it went so large. Harness that sexual energy. Just because you feel horny does not mean that you want to masturbate every single, time that when you feel horny, guess what you do? Turn it into creative energy. When you feel horny, go write something, go do something. Uh, Use that energy instead of just masturbating it off. If you want to conquer that, you have to be strong in the mind, especially if you grew up watching it. You have to be strong in the mind. This is a game of discipline. What you want to do is you stop, just completely stop cold turkey. Now, if you're a bad person, like if you're bad at watching porn and you're completely addicted, like you have to watch multiple times a day or every single day, then you're just gonna have to slow it down just a little bit, like go from 5 times a week to 4 to 3, because it's gonna be hard for you to stop cold turkey. But if you're a person like me who just watches it probably twice a month, 3 times a month, just stop. Just stop. And then what you want to do is stop masturbating as well. What this is going to do to you is completely reset your sexual energy. I mean, completely. And trust me, I know, because I'm doing it. I've done it. What you want to do is just wait until you have sex with a person, a regular person. Let all that stuff build up inside of you. And when you get with that person, it's going to be like brand new. Oh my God, it's going to feel like fireworks again, because you're getting that feeling again. You're letting everything build up and you're waiting. That's what's wrong with us now. We haven't waited in a long time. If we feel horny, we pull out that rose, we pull out our vibrators, and we get to going. We get on Pornhub, and that is it. But that's the issue. So just stop cold turkey. Don't masturbate. Wait on a person, and you will see. Like, you will see how much you were missing out on just using porn, just utilizing porn. Honorable mention, I do want to talk about men, although this is a female channel. Men have, when they are so hooked on porn, or they're addicted to porn, they start to get like these crazy fantasies, and it becomes almost uncontrollable. And then sometimes they either turn homosexual, because now they're getting into more and more deeper sexual energy, and it's starting to go downhill. So they go homosexual. They start watching gay porn. They start doing gay things. They start being interested in gay things, or they go down rabbit holes of just some unrealistic sexual things. And that's what happens when you abuse sexual energy. It just starts to go left. Like, a lot of things that we have now are just totally beyond what sex was even originally supposed to be. Sex is just reproductive, it's just for reproductive purposes. But today, you have people, I mean, it has become dangerous. It has become dangerous. It has. So, and a lot of y'all know what I'm talking about. A lot of y'all know what I'm talking about. So yeah, all in all, ladies, if you want to harness that sexual energy or get it back, just stop watching porn. Stop masturbating. Get in the lab. Turn that sexual energy into creative energy. Okay, and you will see what beauty comes out of that. Every woman that goes celibate, or they stop having sex, or they become abstinent, oh my God, they glow like none other. You can tell no one is touching them. You can tell. You can tell their sexual energy is in them, because it's almost like you just want to touch them. You just want to hug them. Like, they just look so good. Sex will drain women because it's sexual energy, and women are receivers. So you must pull back. Pull back. Okay? And some of us do have high sex drives. I get it, because I'm one of those women. But you have to learn how to control yourself. Turn that stuff into creative energy. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in to the Womanhood University. I will see you guys later. Thank you.